I'm tired. I went to the party for a family member. I mentioned this in a previous video where I bought some gifts, and I'm just really tired, mentally mostly, from being around so many people. I hadn't been to a large gathering like this in a while. I kind of avoid them, but I wanted to attend this party. And as an introvert, it's just really hard. If you are an introvert, you might know what I mean. I like talking to people one-on-one. That's great. But around a big crowd of people, it really wears me out. I'm just not comfortable. It's not fun. And thought I'd just make a quick video about how I survived this party as an introvert. So mainly, I decided I would go into this party situation with a positive outlook. I tried to make an effort. In fact, the first few people who arrived, I was there ahead of time helping set up and everything. The first few people who arrived, I said hi to and introduced myself. I said, "Hi, I'm Peg." Mentioned how I knew the person who the party was for. And several people, not just one, several people kind of looked at me like they didn't know what I was talking about, like maybe I was speaking a foreign language. And it was pretty frustrating. And they didn't tell me their names. They didn't say hi back. They just kind of stared at me. So after this happened a few times, I just stopped. I would just smile and say hi. I figured that's all that's needed, if anything. And other people later, who I talked to, some of them were very kind and pleasant to talk to, but the few who I encountered early on really made it, sort of verified my experience I've had sometimes at parties, and it's just not a good feeling. So, I just backed off, just sort of to protect myself. So what I ended up doing, because it was a large open plan house, and the kitchen was in one area, then the living room and dining room were close by, and I could just see everybody at the party. Basically, there were a few people outside, but for the most part, people were just milling around because a lot of these people knew each other, and they sort of just stayed in their little clique of people they knew, talked to just the people they knew, which reminded me of what? What could it remind you of? High school, yeah, which always drove me crazy too. It's like, we're all here, why can't we just all talk? But, you know how it is sometimes. People don't want to do that. So I ended up standing at the sink, tidying up, and then realized there are some, dirty pans and pots and pans and different dishes I could wash, and I just started washing the dishes. And we ran the dishwasher several times, so I wasn't washing all of the dishes, but the large items and things you don't put in a dishwasher, I washed every single one of them and was happy to do it. It gave me something to do, and I like to be busy. I don't like to sit around, especially in a situation like this. It's okay to watch people, do some people watching, but you can only do that for so long, or I can, without, feeling like you're staring or eavesdropping, which is what I would be doing. So being at the sink, walking around, picking up, plates and napkins and silverware, taking care of those, putting them in the trash or in the sink to be washed, was really good. It kept me from feeling too left out, which I did feel left out, but it's That's a common feeling I have when I go places like this. I don't feel like I belong in a large crowd. I don't like it. Never have, I don't think. It's just too much. It's sensory overload for me. And this helped a lot to have my hands in some soapy water, washing and rinsing the dishes, and I laid them out on a towel to dry, and someone else came up and dried them. I think they were kind of feeling the same way. It's like, okay, give me something to do. So by the time we finished, all of the dishes were clean. The host and hostess didn't really have to do much because we tidied up, wiped off all the counters and the table and, helped put everything away. And like I said, I was very happy to have that to do. I could still listen to people talking and watch what was going on without having to participate. And occasionally I would talk to someone. So that's what happened for most of the party. And I did know a few people that I'd met in the past, and I talked to them a little more in depth, which is what I like. I like having a meaningful conversation. I don't like small talk or chit chat. It's not important. It's not, everybody knows the weather. We don't need to talk about that. Or, if there was traffic, it's like, yeah, there was traffic. I like to talk about, things that are happening in the other person's life. And that was, nice to do with a few people. So that satisfied my talking time. I didn't need to talk the whole time at all. Another thing I did during the party, and this was before I discovered that I could stand at the sink and wash the dishes, was to take small breaks. There was a bedroom I could go into and just close the door. There was a cat in there. The cat was scared because of all the people, which I can understand. And I just sat on the floor and looked under the bed because the cat was under there. And the cat didn't want to come out, which was okay. It was perfectly understandable, but it was quiet. I couldn't hear people, and I could just, look at my phone for a little while, play a couple games or something, kind of decompress, because all of the talking, it gets really loud. When there's a lot of people talk louder to be heard, then other people talk louder still. It's exhausting. And so going into this quiet room where I knew there was a cat, even though I couldn't pet it because I couldn't reach under the bed into the middle, it was in its safe spot. Really smart cat. But it was just nice to be away from the chatter and the conversations that kept getting louder and louder. So I didn't feel bad. If people were talking about me or something, I don't care. I don't think anybody was at all. And if they were, I really don't care. I don't think I was missed because, like I said, I didn't know that many people. And I don't think anybody noticed me, even when I introduced myself, which is okay. I'm fine with that. It's just awkward. And another reason I just don't like parties, the whole situation is a little overwhelming. But, I wanted to attend. It was good to be there to help celebrate. But also very stressful. And like I said, I'm still tired mentally. It wasn't physically taxing, but mentally, I was around more people that day than I normally am in a month. And put them all together at one time, and the chatter being loud was just not pleasant for me. How about you? Do you enjoy going to parties, or are they a little stressful like they are for me? I'd love to hear how you handle getting through a party. Do you kind of make yourself useful like I did. I also took out the trash and replenished food that was running low in the different dishes. And it all just gave me a purpose for being there, I felt like. And I really like that. I don't like going somewhere, like if I'm supposed to volunteer or anything, a job, whatever it is, and not have enough to do. That is a waste of time for me. I don't like it. You know, I'd rather be useful. So that really worked. And I'm going to have to keep that in mind if I go to another function, which I just don't go to that many type of things like that anymore. And that's okay with me. But when you do want to, you know, this is one tactic that I use that really helped me out. And to just step aside, remove yourself for a little while to make yourself feel less overwhelmed. How do you deal with these feelings? Or do you? Or are you the life of the party and just love it? I kind of wish I could be sometimes, but I'm not. It's just not in my nature. So thanks for watching. And if you liked this video, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of my content. And I will see you next time.